and welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. We're getting there. We need to get there. Then we need to get to 1,000,000 and onward. So do me a favor, hit subscribe, watch, comment, and please share with family and friends because the stupidity that's killing us all, it's not stopping. Now, look, let me be clear. I say this all the time, that the insanity, it's not stopping, and a lot of it is really, truly very serious. But sometimes Trump's actions are so absurd, the enablers around him is so stupid that you just have to laugh. And that's why I had asked comedian Maggie Reed to join me on my Mea Culpa podcast. Because two things that we start to talk about. Tariffs, finally, MAGA and Republicans, the GOP, they're beginning to feel the pain at the cash register themselves. And while we sit and we listen to the stupidity that emanates from the mouths of Trump's enablers, you can't lie to the people when everything is costing you more money at the register. People just are not closing their eyes because they can't afford to. And this stuff is really troubling, but it gets even worse. Why is it that we need this humor? Why did I ask Maggie Reed to join me on Mea Culpa? Because it is necessary. Humor is necessary to prevent burnout during this second Trump term. And that's why I'm trying to explain the importance of helping to grow this community. So do me a favor. Subscribe, watch, comment, share, and let's play the clip. We talk about, Trump's tariffs. They are now hitting his base directly. And it's something I've been talking about literally since the day that he announced the tariffs. There will come a day when his base will realize, and again, I blame guys like Scott Bessington, Howard Lutnick, and others that continue to promote this bullshit lie that tariffs are paid by countries and not by American consumers. They just are.
Yeah.
It's now finally hitting his base directly. And it's hitting them directly because when he turned around and gave, for example, China an extra 90 days before the implementation of the tariffs, what did big companies like Costco and Walmart and Amazon and all the Myers and so on, what did they do? They bought more product. They overspent and they just did an analysis. Oh yeah, we're going to need toilet paper. Fuck it. We bought, instead of 1 million, we bought 5 million worth of toilet paper. So they were able to carry the old pricing as opposed to the new. Well, what happens when that supply runs out? And it always does. Well,
prices go
now
up.
Prices go up. So you're seeing rising prices. You're seeing disrupted supply chains. You're seeing higher costs for citizens, for small businesses.
Oh, yeah.
So my question I want to ask you, because California, as Gavin Newsom likes to punch back to Trump and say, if we were our own country, we would have the 4th highest GDP in the world.
That's fact.
All right.
Yeah.
So while you shit on California, California is the most successful, right? It's more successful than 196 countries that are out there. How long do you think that Trump's supporters are going to stick with this narrative, this lie that this tariff bullshit is a win for America?
Oh, you know what? It boggles my mind. It really boggles my mind that people can literally hear Donald Trump bragging about how much money the tariffs are bringing in, and he's bragging about taking their money. And it's like, they're like, yeah, this is amazing. It's your money. You're paying higher prices. You're paying the tariffs. That's how it works. I don't know. I don't know if they're ever going to get it. I feel like the goalpost has moved so far off the field. It's maybe that's on the moon too with the new nuclear reactor. The goalpost is already on the moon. It's been moved so many times. I don't know if they'll ever get it because no matter, you can tell these people you're paying the tariffs. This money is your money. And it's still not going to process. They're like, no. It's the countries, the corporation. No, no, no. They're passing the price to you. No matter how many times you say it, they're not going to get it. So hopefully, maybe one day they will.
I
In
hope.
best case scenario, regardless of the gerrymandering that any of these states do, it would be great if a bunch of Republicans were like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't vote for Donald Trump again. Maybe I should vote for some Democrats, and maybe they can see the forest through the trees here. But I think that's wishful thinking. I don't know.
Yeah. So let me ask you this as we're beginning to wrap down our hour. As somebody who speaks to audiences through comedy, commentary, and live performance,
Mhm.
how do you balance holding power to account without overwhelming people into apathy?
You know, that's my favorite part of using humor and politics. Um, you know, I mean, I'm sitting here with the creator of Von Schitzenpants here. I mean, this is, comedy
Yeah.
is
You
comedy.
know, that one, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you there. And a lot of my listeners will be like, why don't you let the poor lady speak? That was not intentional. That was just something that organically happened. I was talking to, again, my co host, Ben Mycelis, and we were there. And I was so angry at him, with all the stuff. And then there was all this nonsense going on about he was wearing a diaper and that people were saying he smells and so on. Again, I don't buy it, but nevertheless, I'm sitting there and I was like, yeah, fucking Von Schitzenpants. And all of a sudden, the entire comment section, and we have our show, Political Beatdown, it's #1 in the world
Yeah.
on YouTube when we're on. We should bring you on one of these days. That would be unusual, Tuesdays and Thursdays. But all of a sudden, they come to, holy shit, Von Schitzenpants. I'm like, yeah, Donald Von Schitzenpants. And
And a
it took
meme
off.
was born. And a meme was born. See, Michael, you see the beauty in comedy. And, take me back to the Von Schitzenpants days, please. When life was a little bit more simpler. But I get comments on the regular about how comedy helps people get through this time, cope. Because if we are constantly living in our fight or flight mode, we are going to burn out. And they're blitzing us with crazy shit every day. So, I try to do a lot of comedy of the absurd because we are in the absurd right now. Nothing is more absurd than this administration, than what's going on. And so it makes people feel better and lightens the mood, because if we are constantly just being sad or mad or fearful at all times, that's going to take a toll on us. We have to find ways to keep going. And I think comedy is just kind of one of those ways.
Yeah. So, last question for you. You believe that this moment with public trust collapsing, we're seeing crises after crises, economic instability, public health rollbacks, immigrant crackdowns, secretive meetings, to name just a few.
Yeah.
There's no transparency, right? It's all being fought from the top. Authoritarian tools are now being normalized. You think this is the start of a reckoning or a warning that we're still choosing to ignore?
I think more people need to wake up and open their eyes and get involved. I think a lot of people are invested in politics. And I think that's where also comedy comes in, because maybe somebody that's not, doesn't care about politics too much, can have a laugh at something. But you have to stay informed these days. And I think a lot of people just kind of are letting it go. We're in the political field. So, it doesn't ring true to us because we're like, oh, we're in this all the time. But a lot of people just ignore and aren't even caring about what's going on right now. I think that's the scariest part. And so trying to get more people involved and more people to see what's going on, I think, is the way to go. Because we need everyone, all hands on deck when it comes to at least the midterms too, to try to at least take back some power from this administration.
Yeah. I kind of do that. I try to do that. I have my Substack Do you do Substack as well?
No, not yet. I'm thinking
It's a
about it.
marvelous tool, and I think you would be probably very well suited, on it, because my goal is to stop all the misinformation, the disinformation, the malinformation that comes out. Hey, let me just give you the final word, Melania. Is something that you want to say to my listeners? We're over 500 million downloads since we started. All right.
Oh, wow, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah. It's a big audience. So, Melania, what would you
Yes.
like to say to my audience as a final thought?
As a final thought, I would just like to say that, I want everyone to understand that I didn't choose this life for myself. Uh, and I do not sleep with Donald Trump. I sleep in separate bedroom. And please, please do not associate me with my husband, because I'm just bystander on the side. Okay. I just like the money.
So you didn't pick the thug life. The thug life chose
The
you.
thug life chose her. Yes. The thug life chose her for sure.
Well, Maggie, thank you so much for joining me on Mea Culpa. Appreciate it. Keep doing
Anytime.
what you're doing, because you're right. We need a little break every now and then from the chaos.
You
And your
betcha.
comedy is funny as hell. Hey everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.